It's time to welcome in the newest member of the University of Tulsa athletic family. It is the new pitching coach for TU softball, and it's Paige Parker, All-American at OU, two-time national champion. And Paige, we're so happy you've joined the TU family, and tell us about your excitement about becoming the pitching coach at TU.
Yeah, I am so excited to be joining the TU family. Oklahoma is my second home, and to be able to stay in Oklahoma and join Tulsa and the tradition and how great of a program TU softball is. I am so excited to be joining the staff and helping out the pitchers. I'm really, really excited to get started this fall.
And you were an assistant pitching coach at William Jewell College for a year and then went to OU and did some volunteer work there. Has that prepared you for this job, do you think?
Absolutely. My experience at William Jewell was great. I was able to help out the pitchers there, with practice. And, this past year being the volunteer assistant at OU, I learned so much from Coach Rocha. And, while I was playing, I learned a lot from Coach Lombardi as well. So I feel really well prepared to take over the pitching staff. And I'm really just looking forward to, spreading knowledge of the game and, teaching a lot about pitching to this staff.
And Paige, you're not that far removed from playing. So as you talk with young players, I'm sure they remember your name. Does that help you a little bit as you teach?
I think it does. I think not being too far removed from playing the game, I'm able to relate to them a lot. I've been in the same situations that they've been in as a student athlete. I know the ins and outs of how difficult it can be to balance the two. So I feel like I'm able to help in a lot of different ways, just being able to relate to them and help them through any issues or problems that may come up just because I've been there and done that.
And I've heard from folks that you're a technician. I mean, you are really technically sound and you want to teach that.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to have that knowledge. The important thing, I'm sure, is now to be able to bleed that over into your players a little bit. Tell us about the technical nature of pitching in your eyes and how you may be able to impart that on the Tulsa players.
Yeah, I think it's just really important to have a strong mechanical background whenever you're pitching, to have a strong base of mechanics, because it helps not only your pitches and your execution be better, but it also helps to prevent injuries and things like that. So just, trying to teach them that strong mechanical base is going to be important in, all aspects of pitching, from velocity to movement and spin. So I'm excited to help them out with that, because I think that's one of the most important aspects of pitching, is to have that strong mechanical base.
You've always loved softball, no question about that. But that technical aspect, that mechanics aspect, who taught you the most about that? Was it Missy Lombardi, who's now at Oregon, who was your pitching coach at OU, Patty Gasso? Who were your influences?
Growing up, I had a pitching coach. Her name's Christy Ambrosi, and she played on the 2000 Olympic team. She played at UCLA. So she, kind of started that with me. And then, moving into college, Coach Lombardi helped me a ton with understanding, what your body needs to do in order to be successful and to have the most success on the mound mechanically. So I think, Coach Lombardi was such a huge influence for me with that. And then this past year, working with Coach Rocha, the current pitching coach at OU, she also, helped me even more to gain more of that knowledge on that technical aspect of pitching.
Paige, in 2016, you were the most outstanding player in the College World Series. You guys won the championship. You pitched virtually every inning of the important games in the playoffs and that sort of thing. What do you recall about that run by the Sooners?
That was a really magical run. And I think more than anything, I just remember my teammates and my coaches' support throughout that entire year and that run, and just how much we had each other's backs and how much fun we had doing it. That team was really, really special, and we all had a very special bond with each other. And I think that's the thing that I remember the most, is just that bond that we had. And, we were willing to do anything for each other, and that was really special.
And as a pitcher, you're going to give up a hit. You're occasionally going to give up a home run and that sort of thing. And a year earlier, as a freshman, you had a grand slam against you in the Alabama game, which basically ended the season. So how were you able to recover from that? And is that a lesson you can teach to young players?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest lesson I learned from that was just a lot of mental toughness. Just learning how to work through really difficult and stressful situations. And, that taught me a lot. And that's something that I feel like I can pass on to a lot of pitchers is, understanding that you're going to have times when you're on the mound and things don't go your way, but it's how you bounce back from those times is what really defines who you are. And, the way that I learned how to bounce back from that with all the support that I had from everyone was such a valuable lesson for me. And it's one that I want every pitcher to be able to learn.
Paige, let's fast forward to 2017, and so often Tulsa is sent to the Norman Regional, and that was a year where Tulsa was in the winner's bracket and had a chance to win, and it went all the way to the regional final game where you pitched, I believe, a shutout or a complete game victory. What do you recall about that regional?
That was a really tough regional. Anytime that Tulsa came to Marita Hines, it was always a battle. And that year was especially a tough battle. Emily Watson was so tough on the mound against us. And so for us to be able to make it through that regional was really tough. And it really, set the tone for the rest of the postseason for us. But I just remember, how competitive that Tulsa team was, and they played with a lot of heart and a lot of passion. And it was, very evident how great of a team that they were. And it was really tough for us to, come back and beat them twice. And, it was a really memorable regional for us.
Yeah, 10-inning game in the next to the last day. And then, of course, your win in the final game moved you on to the Supers. But in that 17 year, unlike 16, where you were virtually pitching every inning, you had Paige Lowry and Maria Lopez and others who pitched and were part of that run. Was that an adaptation for you, to have to not worry, but have to kind of not be the person that's on the mound every inning?
Yeah, that year taught me a lot just about the importance of a pitching staff. I was so grateful to have Paige and Mariah that year. We all shared the innings, and I was so happy about that because, it was much less stressful for me. And, to have someone that you rely on if you're not having your best day, to have someone to be able to come in and pick you up is a great feeling. And, that year, I learned that because the previous 2 years I had pitched a majority of the innings. So it really taught me a lot about the importance of a staff and how, each pitcher has a different role, and you can accept that role and, really be a strong unit as one.
And I'm sure as a pitching coach, you'll try that same approach with several different folks kind of cobbling the pitching staff together, I'm sure, huh?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Pitching staffs are so important, and to, create that bond amongst the pitchers and the staff is something that, Coach Lombardi and Coach Gasso did such a great job of with us that year is, for all of us to realize that we needed each other. And that's something that I definitely as a coach want to preach to all pitchers is that you don't have to do it all by yourself. And, 5 pitchers are stronger than just one.
And Paige, you're part of kind of the lefty legacy, if you will, at OU. Great left-handers at Oklahoma, but I'm assuming you're okay with coaching up some right-handers as well, huh?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was very fortunate to be a part of that lefty legacy, but, there have also been a lot of special right-handed pitchers in the program as well. And I'm excited to, take on lefties and righties because they both bring something different to the table, which can be really special.
Paige, being from Independence, Missouri, which is just south of Kansas City, I know you're a Royals and a Chiefs fan, but you had a special experience in 2017 where you got a chance to throw out the first pitch in a Royals game and also had a chance to kind of throw at or with some of the Kansas City players. Tell us that experience.
That was, one of the coolest experiences I think I've ever had in my life. I've grown up a Royals and a Chiefs fan, and to be able to even, go down and see the batting cages and be in the dugout and get to meet a lot of those guys that were a part of the World Series team in 2015 was really, really cool for me and my family to get to do. And I have a lot of pride in where I come from and Kansas City. And so that was one of the most special experiences that I've ever had.
Well, in one of the tapes I watched, it looked like you knocked Sal Butera over just about. So, I mean, that was kind of fun to watch how the players reacted to you throwing.
Yeah, that was really cool. That was something that I really wasn't expecting going into that. And so, to be able to throw to Drew Butera was awesome. And to kind of hear some of the players' reactions, you want to get softball as visible as possible. And, for those guys to kind of see and realize the skill and the talent that softball takes was really cool. And, when the tweet kind of went viral, I definitely wasn't expecting that. And that was something that was really cool to be able to get softball more visible to everyone.
All right. What's the first thing you want to do when you get on the campus of TU and start things? Obviously, when we get past the COVID-19 pandemic and that sort of thing, what are the first few things you want to do with this program?
I'm just so excited to get back out onto the field. I think, this layoff that COVID has brought has given everyone a better appreciation for the game and the sport. And so I think just getting to, get back on the field and get to work is something I'm so excited about. And just, helping to continue to grow the program and, continue the success. I know, just working toward those conference championships, the postseason is something that I'm really looking forward to.
So again, what does Paige Parker bring to the program? What are the things that you think personally you can bring to the TU program?
I think a lot of it just comes from, a lot of my experience that I've had. I've had a lot of different experiences as a player, and, to be able to bring those experiences and share what I've learned and, share the knowledge that I've gained throughout the years. I've had a lot of influential coaches in my life, just in general, and to just be able to bring some of the knowledge that they have imparted on me and bring it to the TU program is something that I think I can do, and I'm really excited about. And, I'm just excited to bring, some, some new ideas, some new things within the pitching staff. I'm just excited to kind of share the knowledge that I have gained over all the years that I've played.
And obviously, this is something I should have mentioned earlier, but Chrissy Strimple is your new boss. Your relationship with her and how happy you were to be able to work this out and become the pitching coach.
Yeah, from the start, I could tell that, Coach Strimple is a very special person, and, kind of some of the things that she was talking to me about, the values that she imparts on the program really line up to my core values just in life. So I knew, that we were going to have a great relationship, and, just off the bat, we really connected, and I'm just so excited to work with her and learn from her. I'm very, very fortunate to have her as my boss.
Appreciate you taking the time, and we can't wait to get you on campus and start working with the pitchers. Paige Parker, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.